he has delayed their tariffs for 30 days in response to them sending 10,000 Mexican soldiers to work the border. Okay. So that's one. Two, Panama. Remember that whole "we're not going to play this game with you," blah blah blah. Panama, sovereign nation. Well, the president of Panama, Jose Raul Molino, has announced that following his meeting yesterday with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Panama has decided not to renew its 2017 memo with China regarding the Belt and Road Initiative, and that they will look towards voiding their agreements with Chinese government prior to the end of the date set for 2027 and 2028. So guess what? Panama Canal coming back to the United States again, as Trump said it was going to. According to Reuters, U.S. arms shipments to Ukraine were briefly paused in recent days before being resumed over the weekend as the Trump administration debates its policy on Ukraine and the ongoing invasion by Russia. U.S. President Donald J. Trump told reporters today that talks are ongoing between the U.S. and Ukraine to supply the United States with critical rare earths as payment for the billions of dollars in aid sent to the Eastern European nation for its war efforts against Russia. Again, Trump forcing people into the negotiating table and walking away a winner. Canada has now had their tariffs delayed for at least 30 days. And in response to that, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced that following a call today with U.S. President Trump, tomorrow's proposed 25% tariff on Canadian goods will be delayed for 30 days. And in exchange, Canada will implement a $1.3 billion border plan, which includes advanced helicopters, enhanced coordination with American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 personnel will be deployed to the U.S.-Canadian border to assist with this plan. Guys, Trump is owning everybody that steps to the table against him. It's pretty funny to see. And all he did was dump the markets for a day.
He's a baller.
And we're back. And we're basically back again.
Yeah, it's insane. This is insane.
It's like someone
it's
said to
insane.
LBC, you don't negotiate from a position of weakness.
No, and everybody wants the United States dollar because our GDP crushes the rest of the world. So all of those dollar cost average links that I dropped this morning, I hope you guys followed those on the DCA plan because they were all good. Did you do your Monday DCA this morning, Melissa?
I did. I only got the one Doge one. I didn't see anything else, but I'll have to go back because I was out and about today. So
yeah, we dropped ADA was a DCA times 2. Link was a DCA times 1. Doge was a DCA times 2. ETH was a DCA times 2. And Bitcoin was a DCA times 1 today.
What was the last one?
Bitcoin was a DCA times 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Oh man, I really hope that it goes to 103,300 and then drops back down, to be honest.
Why did you not follow the Piper plan for your DCA today,
I did
OC?
not. I did not. But my entry wasn't Sunday. We had an alert there, and I did saw it ringed on me. It was like dropping, and I was like, hey, that's a great opportunity. That's what we've been waiting for. In fact, my alert is, let me show you right here. Well, not show you, just talked about it. I mean, I've been, sorry about my French, but I've been bitching around this all day long to myself, man. I created the alert on January the 13th, and I was waiting for this low to happen at 91,800. So we hit it, and I did not purchase. And dude, I'm so like, But whatever, it happens.
Crypto trades. BC Port Corp said for shame, OC, and then Crypto Trade said do
Yes.
better. Do better, OC.
Man, like all I hear is a lot of bitchiness from OC right now. Like, come on, man. You know, like just get your shit together, Mr. TA guy.
Oh
You
man.
know, like come on, man.
I know.
Look,
I
the
know. I should have heard
DCA.
myself.
Look, the DCA calls are about risk levels, but at the end of the day, it's also a little common sense. If you know that that price is low and you're starting to see a rebound, you should probably go ahead and trigger your weekly DCA, even if it's not the
Yeah,
backdated DCA.
I'm not even gonna lie. I triggered two DCAs. Like I triggered on Sunday when I saw the shit dump.
Oh
Like I
man.
DCA the same way that I would, and then I DCA this morning when
I did
Piper put in the stuff.
I did
Now
too.
you're
Crypto
just
trades.
rubbing it,
I
brother.
bought
I
some
can
Bitcoin.
tell.
I bought some Bitcoin
Hey
yesterday.
man, yeah,
I actually did. I did a double Bitcoin. I did a DCA this morning for the weekly one. I also did one yesterday as a strike of opportunity. So I also double dipped on the DCA this week.
hell yeah. I think this is the opportunity I'll see like to be more active on the Discord, you know, and just get it going, bro. That's all it is.
Oh, by the
That's
way,
all it
talking about
is.
Discord. By the way, talking about Discord, yes, count me in. Anything that you need me to involved, I'm right here. I have a little more time, and I'm gonna be reflecting it, staying around. Also with Professor Prophet, let me know what's the if you need me to do anything, and I'll be there right there.
I want to go talk about. I want to go talk about Doge. When did that come out this morning? Can you look at the times of that posting there? TradeFly. I mean, TradeFly. Crypto trades. Too many trade names.
Let me see. Like
When
what for the time of
when
DCA or what? Like or what? Or what do you want to
yeah,
know?
when I dropped that post this morning.
It was like
We
right
were.
after my show.
It was
You're
at
far away at BC. I can't hear you, bro.
Well, I'm on headphones.
Okay, that's better.
eight oh
What
eight
time
a.m.
was it?
8:08 a.m.
8:08 at your time. Are you? What
Yeah,
are you?
Eastern,
Central,
Eastern,
East?
Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, so 6:08 my time. I dropped that this morning into the members. So let's go into the hourly and look at 6:08. Okay, we were right here on support on Doge on this candle right here when I put that in this morning, and that was a DCA times 2. That is 15% to the upside with no leverage from when I put that in. What else is there? ADA?
Ada. I mean, Ada hasn't moved much. I would say. It probably, you know, it was good to see this reset because then we were able to really understand what were going to be the coins that actually moved or recover quicker than what we expected. So, I mean, Solana, dude, it just showed strength. Like, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. But all the meme coins are in Solana, so it makes sense.
Well, Cardano's up 16.3% since I put that out this morning.
On the two, yeah, that was the 2 times, right? That was the 2 times, 2x.
That was a 2x. Yep, 2x. Chainlink was a 1x. Is that correct?
Yep.
15.7%. What else was a 2x? Was Ethereum a 2x?
Yeah, Ethereum was a 2x. Well, no, man. Like I'm on the wall with Ethereum. Like I want
10%.
to go in it, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
just.
am too, bro. I am too.
Fuck
I'm
Ethereum.
really focusing. I'm
Yeah, you know what I
focusing
mean. Like yeah.
I'm
Fuck Ethereum,
focusing
man.
like 90, like 80 to 90% is focused on Bitcoin. The rest of them are just alts to add to my Bitcoin, really. Dude, look at Ethereum playing on these fibs though, dude. Look at that. Like that is pretty spot on for a retest on that fib. I mean, there you can see it. Look at that. Wicked perfectly to it. Do you guys know the scary part about these fibs? these are pulled from the starting point back in 2020 to the peak in 2021 to the bottom in 2022. And look how well they're respected on the hourly.
Yeah, it's crazy. Fibs are
It
dangerous,
is.
man. Look at that.
Fibs are very dangerous. That's why I love my fibs, man. They do really well. And I love the new pivot tables. The new Dynamic Pro pivots are on point. So, all right. You said pull up. Oh, see, I'm gonna let you pull up OM. Show us what you're seeing, bro, and then we'll get into any other DCAs. If anybody has any other things that they want to add to that weekly DCA, now that you've gotten a fill of what you're gonna get every week and all that, if there's other assets in there, we can start adding those in too. Because I'm gonna drop those Monday morning before I do anything for show prep. It's like first thing on Monday morning, so you guys will have those early. OC, I'm gonna go ahead and drop my chart here, and you can bring yours up, and then we'll come back and we'll go through any other assets that are offered in here that we can do the DCA strategy on. So
There's no
Absolutely.
H bar on that DCA, right? Like
no,
I
I
don't
don't
see
think
it. I don't
there's
see. Yeah, I don't see it.
no,
Yeah.
no,
So
doesn't look like
yeah,
it.
so basically on OM, we're looking at OM for a long time now, and man, this OM first we did a great job basically grabbing it here, not such a great job grabbing it down here because you have a stop out, and then we took it all the way here, and finally I was expected to grab it here, and I give this signal also in chart hackers. Remember that, and then we just flop, man. That was hard because it just kind of went straight through. But look at that. This was on Saturday or Sunday, February, and look at that. I mean, the retracement didn't even get to the dynamic reactor. Well, everything else in the market it was below the zero line or below dynamic reactor. And then look at that, taking previous highs. I mean, if I go to daily, at this point, we are on price discovering mode. So I don't know what the hell is going on with OM, but it's been killing it. I mean, at this point on daily, we're having a retracement, so we need to be very careful of it. But still, I mean, I, if I would have done that reentry also on OM, I'll be laughing all the way back to the bank. But look at the strength that this thing carries. Yes, we are hitting again regression areas. Let me just clear this up or pullback areas. But I mean, what else can I say? I mean, this could still go a little bit higher, or maybe create a final triple bearish divergence for then come back down. But even though I don't think there's gonna be such a huge drop, maybe we could be talking somewhere around 521. I mean, almost taking everything, right? But still making a higher high, a higher low. Sorry. So I don't know. I kind of like I want to take a trade right there, as we might take it. I don't know. Maybe at the beginning of the next week, I would say it. I don't know, 7 candles, 6 candles, something like that. I don't know. I mean, it took up quite a bit of candles in here for do the retracement. So as long as it's slow and steady, I'll take it. I don't know. It's caught my attention quite a big chunk of it because the way that it has been moving. So yeah, that's what I got on OM.
I was gonna say, even go back to that chart. I don't even think we might drop all the way to the back to the trend. We might even drop where it found resistance on like the last support on it, like because that's
So
another take too. Like right where that, yeah, like right there, yeah, right where you're at. Yep, that white line. Yeah, we might come back from there, and even not even having to drop all the way to like the
you're right.
the line, the trend line. Yeah.
Yes, you're completely right. So we could be doing something more like this, right? I mean, I can even copy it
Hmm.
and let's see how would that play it out. So from
Crazy.
there to here, We take the last candle, we match it up here. I mean, that's perfect. Completely aligned.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe a dual entry. I mean, like half of a position maybe there, and then in the event that we dropped all the way to trend, that'll probably be another one.
You are absolutely right. I think I'm gonna run with that half and half. I think that will be an amazing setup entry there.
Yeah, just in case we play both ways. I mean, I miss
Yeah,
doing TA
man.
with OC, man.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. Oh, maybe I don't know if you have time. Maybe we can do a little bit of a show in here. I don't know.
Right?
Maybe we can pre-record. Yeah, a couple of
So
coins and drop those videos.
yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, Piper?
So yeah. So here's what concerns me though right now, guys, is that we know that there's a lot of inflationary pressure showing up, right? And I just showed you guys. Let me share my screen. Or did you have more to show, OC?
No, no, that's it. I got it here.
Okay. Yeah. So I have one point of concern that I just want to bring up and show you guys. And that is going to be, for one, we see the stock market. Oh, Trip Brock is here. Let's bring him up. Let's bring up the man that jinxed Melissa.
What?
Yeah, he jinxed her. He jinxed her, dude. So taking a look here, you guys, like I said, you guys can see that. Yeah, they paused those tariffs for 30 days, right? So we are seeing that, and we're getting this like crazy pump in Bitcoin, right? But look at the futures market for tomorrow. It's not really like it's like 0.1, right? But it's still red. Like we're not seeing a huge crazy rally coming back in after this market closed today, right? And we should see this, which tells me that the investors are like, okay, that was a hurdle, right? That was a high jump that we had to deal with on the where's my economy? There it is. A high jump to deal with for the tariffs, right? But they're still concerned, I believe, about Jolt's job openings tomorrow, which is supposed to be dropping 7.8 million, coming down. That's the wrong direction, right? Which means that Jerome Powell now has to worry about a continuation of weakening labor market. And then we've also got, the rise, the PCE, the inflation coming back up, which tariffs being paused for 30 days is not a no tariffs. It's just a pause for 30 days. He'll reassess and figure out if he wants to leverage anything else out of him. And to top it off, we've got, labor costs. You can see unit labor costs quarter after quarter. I mean, that's coming up big time, which is going to make companies go, we need to lay people off because our payroll's too high. So ISM today, ISM came in at 40. Let me refresh it. Was at 45.3, came in, yeah, way up higher. Manufacturing employment came in pretty good, actually. The employment index for U.S. manufacturers jumped to 50.3. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Absolutely. First reading above the 50 threshold since May of 2024. So that is a good return. But today, as far as index, we got this too, though. The PMI was also up after a downwardly revised January. So that, when you've got an increase of orders and employment and all that, ISM employment's going to go up a little bit because it was much higher than what they expected. So that's a good sign, but I think that there's still fear here. The reason that I think that regardless is because we're not seeing a rebound on the futures market right now. This should be all green across the board if the markets felt like crypto feels. So there's that. And then when I look at crypto in its current state right now, this is monthly chart right here, guys. So this peak back here, this is 2021. This is March 2024. Okay. Just to give you a perspective of where we are, what I'm looking at here. And if you look at the histogram on the monthly right now, histogram's coming back down. We got a little camel back here. Okay. The signal line is starting to curve over on the top pretty high. I mean, mind you, this can continue up and that would send this price even higher. But as of right now, we are seeing a little bit of weakening there. Okay. Looking at the RSI primed, we're red and we got short candles here. And that typically means this happens, which was March. And if you look back here, that was 2021. So on the monthly, we still look like we're in danger zone on Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind, like from this point here where we started turning red back in March, we still had a whole nother move after that of 19-20%. So go back in here and start looking where we started to get small candles. We had a move up in 2021 of 95%. Okay. So I'm not saying that we're not going to go much higher. I do think there's still going to be a blow off, but I don't think that it's going to run the entire cycle just because of how hot we are running on all of the indicators this early into the year. So keep that in mind. Money flow has actually stopped climbing. You can see that here. It's starting to curve, which means that we could get a whole nother pullback coming again. Volume is super tight and low. And when it does that, we're typically sideways for quite a while. So I'm still seeing weakness on the monthly. I'm not seeing a lot of strength on the rebound of the stock market itself. And overall, what I'm seeing right now on crypto, it does have the potential to get a lot of people FOMO trapped before it dumps. So, yeah, I saw that. I saw Palantir. It's individual things though, right? It's like it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard, and whatever you hit, that's what pumps that day. Things like Palantir, that was a stonk at one point in reality. I mean, it was Palantir wasn't doing a lot. Yeah. So there are some outliers. There's always going to be outliers in any market. Even in the Great Depression, there were a couple of companies that did well, or at least had positive growth. But overall, I still think that we are in a risk market right now. So, and that the risk off is still a stance that's get ready to go. So, yeah, 23% after hours. That's some micro strategies movement there. That 23% after hour, that's micro strategy type moves. It also bothers me that Michael Saylor did not buy any Bitcoin last week.
But we talked about this before, how majority of the moves for the stock market has actually happened overnight for 2024. So it looks like the trend might continue for 2025. So not a bad play, but just something to consider too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I just want people to be aware that I'm seeing a lot of weakness on the monthly chart. But it is a
From the
monthly
dump.
chart, so keep in mind. So keep in mind that a monthly red could still, carry on for a couple of more months and send us up another 75%, right? But I don't think that we got a 200-300% from here. No way possible. I just don't see it.
I mean, we have 30 days. I think it's plenty of time just to be able to make some money and then more money for the
Yep.
DCA, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, dude, I am sticking super tight to this right here. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Right
I'm there
there.
with you. I mean, so far it's been like what, like 3 weeks that we've been on it, and we've been making solid
Yeah.
gains off from it. So it's
Yeah.
been great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, any questions, comments, concerns, points, counterpoints, debates? I'll take anything. What you guys got?
Can you just have a look at Solana and how's that looking before the job numbers tomorrow?
You want in a short time frame, or you want like this Bitcoin high time frame that I'm looking at?
I think probably a short time frame because I got in a trade. I got into a trade yesterday on the dip, and I'm in profit pretty good, and I'm wondering, do I want to try to let it ride and just really just stick it to them, or do I just want to take what I got and run and be happy?
Why is it got to be a one way or the other? Why is it got to be either or?
Well, it doesn't have to be, but it
Why
could
can't
be,
it be
you know.
take some profits out of your trade and sit on that and let some of your profits run with a close trailing stop loss?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Could do that.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Take some profit off the table, put it in your pocket, smile about that, let the other stuff run with a tight stop loss. You've got risk management in place. You've got your profits, and you've got you still got exposure for tomorrow, but you got a safety net underneath it. So,
Yep. Okay.
one thing I will point out here, I'm looking at the daily right now on Solana, and despite this pull up that it did, we're still not back above higher highs at all on the daily. Same with Bitcoin, by the way. And you can see here our histogram, our signal lines, the money flow. Like, a lot of this stuff is looking like it still has quite a ways to go down, and it's not showing any type of curvature here on the histogram yet. The color's still bright red. It's not lightening up at all. And money flow still coming down. This is the only thing that looks bullish is the daily RSI. That's it. So even this here, we got a value area high right here coming, a value area low, I should say, coming in at 225 that could just send us all the way back down for a whole nother move. High, low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This turns around there, that's a lower high and could absolutely be setting up for another lower low. So just keep that in mind with Solana. I do want to show you guys one thing though here. And this is what has been bugging me about this cycle is typically, let's go back to 2021. I want to put this on like weekly. And let's go back to Bitcoin in 2021. Let's just take a look here. Going back to 2021, okay? We had this big pull up here, right? Actually, let's put this on 3-day. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So back here in 2021, right? We had this big run up, and you can see that wick pretty much came down through these fair value gaps, right? And then it did this sharp pull back up. You guys see that? Where we had fair value gaps here. You guys see those fair value gaps?
Yeah.
By visualizing?
Yes.
So let me, okay. So like we had this range here was a fair value gap, right? And then we had another one that was right here that was a fair value gap. Come on. There you go. This was a fair value gap also. And then when this price started coming down, it got a bounce on that fair value gap. And it came back up and it created a lower high. And then we came in for a lower low, and everyone saw these wicks, and people missed that these wicks, they took these wicks as, oh, this thing's getting ready to moonshot. We're good, right? Well, what it was if you put these as whole candles, right? That would have been just a lower low. And then we make a lower high, and then we made a lower low, right? And so people missed this because the wicks got them excited. The problem with this is that looking at this from the 3-day point, let me bring up the date price range here. From the time that we hit our all-time high until the point that people went, oh, that's a lower low, was 24 days. Okay, so you had almost a whole month of people going, yeah, we're good, man. Like it's bouncing back up when they should have been going, we made a lower low. Okay. And so that what should have triggered people to go, we've had a change of trend, right? We're not going the right direction. Right. And so that should have triggered people to get out. But because of these wicks, they didn't. Okay. Let's go to our current cycle and take a look at this. And I just want to show you guys. We came in here looking at 3-day candles here, and we came down. We came up, that's a lower high. We came down, this is now a lower high. And if you follow this down and consider what I just talked about on the wicks, people are thinking this is this, and I don't think it is. I think that there's a potential here that we do get a lower low. But if no one pays attention, because all of this is so consolidated that this was a new high, right? Because it came down and then it came up and then it came down, right? If they don't look at that because it's so consolidated, when is most of the market going to realize that we've set a lower low? All the way down here. Because all these fair value gaps don't have anything for them. They're just going to see this come down and they're going to look at this on higher time frames and go low, high. Well, we've wicked that low before. Just let it keep. Hold on. Let me get rid of the line so I can show you the wick. We've wicked that low before. It's just, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Well, maybe it's going to stop here. Nope, it's fine. And when it finally hits key levels, this is all fair value gap. If I pull on a fixed range volume profile here, Jesus Christ, would you stop doing that? Get off there. If I go in here and I pull a fair value gap for all of this time period, take a look at the free fall zone that exists in here. Fixed range volume profile. It's nothing. There's nothing in this entire range for volume, right? And so that will happen like hot knife through butter. It's just going to slice right through that. And until we get down here, this is when we start breaking levels in here, and I'm not talking like in the immediate future or immediate window. I'm talking like during the bear market. People are not going to realize because of this until it's too late that the bear market is in play. And that is a lot of loss. If we were to drop all the way down there and it starts to hit these levels, and that's when people start to go, what the hell just happened? You're talking a 50% drop. That's half of your portfolio gone. And you saw how quickly we dropped yesterday. If I put this over here, just to give you another idea, we go to 12 hour, I think it is. These had way more play in here than what the bigger candles have. Like, look at this area here. If we come out to this area, this is just going to get sliced right through in seconds, right? Just like we did here. This came down through because there was not any real volume in this area because of these candles. So when we start to actually get that in the cycle, this play is just going to happen so quick that half of people's stuff is going to be gone. And when half of their portfolio is wiped out, no one's going to want to sell at that point. People tend to sell when there's more money in gains than they do when they have big losses. And in all reality, you're hanging on to a falling knife that you shouldn't. When it gets down to that level, people will be like, well, I've already lost 50%. I might as well let it ride. And they're going to round trip this entire market again. And that's what I'm afraid of. Not for our members and not for me and not for you guys, because I'll be telling you, like, we're breaking lower lows. Be aware. This fair value gap with no volume below us, right? But I think that a lot of people are going to round trip this entire cycle, strictly because by the time it falls through this area of no volume, they're running straight into a period of, well, I've already lost half my portfolio. I don't want to sell now. And it's going to hurt a lot of people. So that's why I was all about taking my profits near the top at 102 and starting my dollar cost average again, because if this does start to take off, I'm putting money back in weekly to get that exposure. But if it starts to go down, which is a 50-50 chance at this, how we're looking on the macro and stuff right now, I'm also fine with that, because my DCA that's the purpose of DCA. As it goes down, buy it cheaper, right? especially with the wristbands where I'm buying more than just an X1D DCA. So I'll give this back to somebody else if anyone's got any thoughts or comments on that. I just wanted to share that because when I look at this price, it is a definitive, like, we could fall through this area very fast. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on that.
I mean, you ain't kidding. And that shit hurts because that happened to me with the last cycle. Like I took my profits already, you know, like I mean, and you just kind of get stuck in that. Yeah, I'm way too deep. Like fuck that, you know, it's like I'm way too deep. Like why am I gonna sell? Uh, I think I mean every single indicator in a way is kind of telling you take some profits. Of course, like you still want to keep something in there in the event of that what if, that 50-50, but to each their own, man. You know, and I know that you say this a lot in your show and everything, but like a lot of people, like even with this pump, a lot of people are still spreading like hopium, and that messes up with a lot of perspective of like what TA and analysis is telling us. I mean, like this is like we got 30 days of hopium pretty much. That's the way I see it, you know. I mean,
That's
it's
it.
30 days
That's
for
it.
you to kind of look at your analysis and say, okay, this is what I need to take, this is what I'm comfortable with taking, and then let the rest either ride or you know set you up for the next run because it's gonna be a deep dive. Like I was afraid that we were gonna go all the way to that, you know, to the CME gap of 72. Like I really thought that I was gonna wake up to that pretty much. I didn't even think we were gonna find support. So
I didn't figure that that would happen. I figured that the buying pressure, because we've had this buying pressure coming in at $90,000, that every time we've gone down there, it's been bought up. I figured if we got down to 90,000, because I dropped the post in there last night on the thing, and I said, "Look, here's the last line in the sand." Let me pull that up real fast.
yeah,
Actually, where's it at? Trade setups? Is that where I did it at?
yeah, because you mentioned like you got stopped out
Yeah.
because you got stopped out, and then you're like, this is our last one.
Yep. I'm just trying to find it. Trading group, maybe.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now.
Or maybe it was just in general chat, members chat. Yep, there it is. I said price. It was in general chat. I put it out to everyone, members and non-members. I said price is approaching a line in the sand. Let me go ahead and bring this up real fast so I can go over this, what I was seeing on this picture. I said we have a value area low, daily dynamic reactor, and support 2 on the monthly pivots. And so let me share the screen again. Because this was where I said if we cross this, then yes, we're looking at that level that you're talking about being scared that we were going to. But the reason that I wasn't too concerned about that is this right here. We had this area here with the dynamic reactor, a weekly support number 2 pivot right here, and then we also had the value area low, all coming in this range. And this was on a daily chart. So let me pull up the chart and show you where we actually hit at on here. Daily. There we go. So this was what I was watching as we were coming down to this. Was this candle here? Was it on selling off? This all, none of this was up here, right? On this candle yet. And if you take a look, there's the dynamic reactor. There's that support 2. There's the value area low. This was the line in the sand. And we did not cross it because that's value area low has been a massive buy point every time that we got down there. The bears had a lot of resistance here before, and there's all this volume here. Anything after that would have been here on the support level 2 of the pivots right there, and the dynamic reactor on the daily, which is this volume node here, right? And so losing that would have sent us into the free fall down to $77,000. So that was why I said that's the line in the sand last night. That's exactly the reason right there. So
I'll take it. I'll take it.
So I wasn't as scared as you were about where we were going to, but I was definitely thinking, okay, line in the sand. If we cross that, it's done. Everything's off.
But if I see that, if I see 77, well, like 77, I'm 4xing my DCA at that point.
Take care, BC. Did everybody see that last night when I dropped that in the chat? Did you guys all see that? I'm
Let
not
me
sure if I
see.
tagged everyone. I did not
No.
tag anyone on that. I apologize. That is my bad. I should have tagged everyone. Okay, supernatural start. Good. Because that was pretty much it. Like that was the last chance for the Bulls to snatch the price momentum and run with it, in my opinion. And they did perfectly. So matter of fact, looked like the Bulls front ran it by about $20. Trent, Melissa, Supernatural, got any questions? Tyler Lyon, you can drop a chat question if you got it. We'll just, if there's anything you guys are wanting to look at or wanting to see, just you guys got my stance of where we are for the week, and you guys got the DCA stuff. Do you guys want to see what other assets we can do DCA on off of that list, or what do you guys want?
Yes, I'd like to know what else is available.
Awesome. Trent, I hear you. What you got, bro?
Oh well, I'm just curious. Like, when you're in a trade and you're in a good trade and you want to up your leverage, and try to get a little bit more of it. How do you do that properly? How does that work? Is that a good idea to do? Just wondering. Seems like every time I've tried to do that, it always turns the other way on me, and then I'm scrambling to just try to save where I was at.
So you're talking about increasing your leverage or your margin?
Like increasing the leverage, right? So like going from 5x to 10, let's say, or something like that.
So you're not actually changing how much money you're going to make on that. You know that, right?
See, that's what I'm trying to understand. All that.
Because when you change your leverage from 5x to 10x, it cuts your margin in half of how
Yep.
much you put in.
And you're paying more for fees too. Like, I mean, the fees will probably
you're paying
eat
the
that
same.
trade up.
Fees will be the same. Fees are still going to be the same.
There's
if I have $10 at 2x, yeah, go for it, OC.
Sorry, there's a way that you can do that, but it's adding more capital to it, which increases your risk. Yeah, because exactly what Piper mentioned, changing your leverage lets you change it up, but doesn't let you change it back down. But once exactly, which you need to be very, very careful. And that that's what I don't like about many exchanges, because you can leverage up and then still not put any more money or do any changes and not be able to scale back down. I think you should, but whatever. The point is, like, for example, you need a chart to create a chart. Make sure you know how much you are adding, or how much does your stop loss represent by X, right? So, for example, 10X would be how much of a liquidation price or liquidation percentage, right? So you need to know that almost by memory. So when you up your leverage, you also need to add money thinking the new leverage, right? So the thing is that you need to do a rule of 3 to calculate that. So basically, if you had, I don't know, $10 at 10x equals that, right? And then when you add more money, you'll be just adding, all right, I had X amount at 10x, which is equals that. I'm adding this amount at this other X, which represented the previous amount. You need to convert it to the new X leverage, and that will give you your final amount of leverage to calculate your stop loss. I mean, you're of course going to have it in front of you, but the point is that you know where your your liquidation price is going to be, so you don't like go 100x, put twice as much money, and then you lose twice or 3 times as much as you wanted to lose, right? Yeah, I know. It's even a mind bending. What I would suggest it is taking profits, and now that you have taken profits, out of the profits, reinvest just a little piece of it. Yes. So for example, let's just say that you have $100, right? If you have $100, take, I don't know, a big chunk, 50%, 60%. Let's just go with 50% because it's going to be easier, right? So you take out 50%, which means you take out $50. Now you were on 10x. You leverage it up, I don't know, 20, 30x, right? 30x, I think that's good enough. And that on that 30x, you add another $10 or $20 out of the 50 that you took. That will reroute your leverage and gain upon the 20 plus the leftover, which is not going to have the same value, but you're going to still earning more of only adding, sorry, of not adding anything because you're not rerouting your leverage. If that makes sense, did that answer your question?
Oh, kind of. Yeah.
Kinda.
I'm confused.
All right. I'm gonna do it on the next trade, and I'll record it, and I'll show you. I'll record it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like, how much, if you're gonna, got $100, right, and you're going from a 5 to a 10x, you got to have some money to the margin to get anything out of it, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Or it doesn't do anything for you.
Right.
Exactly.
So why not take your profits? Why not take your profits and then use a smaller amount of money to start a new trade on a pullback? You see what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Look,
Okay. I got you.
The number one weakness is the cause for everyone that's in the space. Everyone that's in this space, their biggest weakness is the whole reason that they're in the space. They want to make money. I will tell you right now, getting greedy when you've made money because you're like, I could have done more, I could have made more, I'm going to make more. That has wrecked more people than bad trade setups any day of the week.
Yeah.
True.
Be happy with profits, take your profits, set up a new trade. If you're that confident about it, why not reset yourself?
Yeah.
And protect your money.
The thing that got me kind of going on that was, we were talking several weeks ago about some of these guys that go in, and they do, that have the communities and they don't really do the trade. They do a little bitty trade and then they wait till it goes up and then they trade it, change it to like 100x. It's like, oh, look at me, look how much money I've made. I'm like, well, how does that work? Can I do that on a smaller level?
But they're not showing you how much money they made. They're showing you the percentage of the gains.
Yeah, right. So yeah, because it could have been $10, right?
Yep, exactly.
I got you.
Don't risk your money because greed was your motivator. Your motivator should be that you had a solid trade setup, that you had good fundamentals built upon a good project with good technicals, and the market was in a risk on move. That should be what drives you, not greed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's go over these things. Melissa, he did drop the list here, the link. I'll copy it and then tag you on it just so you can see it if you want to look there at your house while you're looking.
Okay.
But this is the list of what all's in here. But just looking at this, you guys can see my screen. Yep, I got it shared. Cool. Out of this list, we got Ethereum, XRP, Solana, BNB, Doge, ADA, Tron, AVAX, Shiba Inu, Toncoin, DOT, Link, Matic. I personally believe out of this entire list, what should be in there right now, out of all of this, is Litecoin. I think we need to put Litecoin in there. And the reason why is because they just got a request for an ETF put in, and they're one of the best mining rewards assets out there, according to Retromite Tech. Plus, they do a lot of transactions. TPS is very high on transactions on Litecoin. And it's one of the oldest. It's Bitcoin light, man. It's really what it is at the end of the day. It's light Bitcoin, with the different tokenomics, obviously. But I
Yeah,
think that if we're looking at these, I think Litecoin should be the one that we add to the list. But I'm open to whatever you guys want on there. So
I'm down with adding it. I think the fear or like the thought around it was just the fact that, Bitcoin ran, but it just never pumped or anything, even after the halving and everything too for Litecoin. But you're right. I mean, it's a baby Bitcoin, not bad to look at. In the event that decides to pop
yeah,
off too with that ETF that was filed.
yep. So out of that list, that's what I think. But if there's anything else in there you guys want, you just let me know.
Will you put
Okay.
exposure back on Ando? Was it
Go ahead,
Ando?
Chris.
Was it Ando?
What about Ondo?
Will you put exposure back into it, like along with, like if you were to do like a small DCA on that, just like on your own? I was always interested in that coin, but it just kind of flew off on me.
I probably will. I probably will when when for the next cycle. I don't know that I would this cycle, just because anything that has ran super hot this cycle, I don't see how it takes a lot of money to run a coin up. And where
Yeah,
is the money going to come from to run it up another 100%, 200%, 300%? You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
though, that's something that I would trade. If I saw a big pullback on Ondo, I would trade it. I would not look at hodling it right now. But yeah, look at Litecoin, man. Came down, quantum reactor, support level 2. Not a bad pull up, and it looks a lot, honestly, like Bitcoin's chart. It really does. If we just look here on a daily from back in here when it was like $56 up to this peak, I mean, that was 163% there in a matter of 120 days. So, and with this being, in the static run here where it's holding, it's showing good strength. And your volume's coming in good on daily. I think that there's a good possibility Litecoin could be one of those ones that obviously you're not going to do a DCA amount as much as what you would on like Bitcoin or, something that's, solid like that. But I think a little bit of exposure to Litecoin wouldn't be a bad idea. Just one humble man's opinion. So,
Where we at in the DCA for it this week? That's what I was gonna ask you.
2x.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yep. Not bad. I mean, you can see it's got running cycles.
And then what's the best day to DCA on this one?
Let's go look at that.
Because
And I'll
I would
drop
need those
that
two.
so you can
Yeah,
drop it
put it
in.
in the chat, and
I
then
got
I'll
you.
fix it.
I got you.
I'll fix it. Yep.
Tuesday, just like most of the other altcoins.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You can even put it on this chat, and then I'll move it around. That's fine. Whatever you want.
There you go.
Cool.
So Litecoin. What else does anybody else want? Did you look at that list, Melissa?
Yes, I did. I think we pretty much talked about the ones I'd probably be interested in for now, just because I'm
Okay.
starting out with literally not much. So, yeah.
Yep. No worries. Supernatural. What about you? I saw you request something. Was that a chart or is that? Because that one, Theta's not on the list, bro.
Yeah,
On the,
that's why I was not happy.
you're too far away, bro. You sound like you're on the other side of the room.
How's that?
Great. What'd you say?
Rate that better? All right, good. I just said that's why it was in all caps. I was just playing around.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm good.
I wish they had theta in here. Would you like to know theta's best data to dollar cost average? I can look at that.
Sure. Buddy, what's the matter?
Theta. Best data dollar cost average in the past 12 months would be Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Yep.
You can see that for every coin or just like the ones that we have on the list.
I can see that with any coin for the best data
Motherfucker.
DCA.
Give me H bars best day. I
It
think we just
doesn't
found
have
it.
the wristbands for everything.
No, I
Sunday.
think we just found another perk.
Oh wait, hold on. 2025 and 2024. Yeah, Sunday. By far, Sunday is the best day to buy H bar to DCA.
Hell yeah,
H-bar.
let's go.
Yeah, as far as like the DCA strategies though, yeah, it's we've only got this list, so he's adding more to it over time, but as of right now, that's it. He started out with just Bitcoin, so
Piper, real quick, can I ask a question? It's totally kind of unrelated.
Yeah.
Can you just give me
Yeah.
the importance of the fib numbers? Like, what is the 618, and do those have
Oh,
any
shit, yeah,
correlation?
yeah.
Like,
So historically, the most likely point for turnarounds is the golden ratio, which is the point, the 618.
okay,
Correct,
right.
OC? Or 786?
296.
618.
But-
786. 786, yes. 786, which is the platinum pocket. But let me pull up the fibs here and I'll walk you through them. Fibs, Fibonacci's. So you know what fibs comes from, right?
No.
Okay. So it's the Fibonacci sequence, and you should do some research on this tonight. Just go in and look up why is the Fibonacci golden ratio relevant, right? It's present in everything. This is going to blow your mind. You ready? The golden ratio, the 78.6%, right, is present in seashells, flowers, the placement of the solar systems in the galaxy, the curvature of like everything. It's the where one piece can double and double and double, right? It's what creates the perfect spiraling circle, right? So it is a naturally occurring engineer ratio for geometry to grow. It's the backbone of so many things in the world. The reason that I find it interesting for it on charts is because when you see price do a pullback, and let me go to like Ethereum here. Hold on, let me go to Bitcoin on Bitstamp, I think it is. Is it this chart that has my fibs? Nope. Nope. There it is. Cool. Let me turn everything else off here now. And let's talk about these for a second. And I'm about to nerd out on you, so I apologize. Okay. So looking here at my fibs, and these are pulled trend-based fibs pulled from the cycle high or cycle low back in 2019 to the cycle high on November 8th, 2021 to the bottom in 2022 summer, right? Do you see where we came in and got our rejection in March? 786 to 887. That's your platinum pocket. Yeah, there you go. Supernatural dropped all the Fibonacci's that exist naturally in the world, right? That's it right there. And then we come down. We did have one outlier, which came almost down to the 50%. But most of our support occurred in the golden pocket, which is your 61.8% to your 66%. Okay. And if you take a look, we pretty much got a perfect bounce on Bitcoin to the dollar before it took off. Okay. Now, here's why it's interesting about all this. It's present in all this programming of how things work in the world, right? But it's also present when people buy and sell. I guarantee you there ain't that many people out there running around with trend-based fibs on a chart like this. If they're doing fibs, they're pulling them on a retracement like this, fib retracement, where they go, all right, I had this run up here, and it pulled up to that level there, and let's go see where my fibs are at on this retracement, right? And that's what they're doing. They're looking at slower time frames. They're not looking at these massive, 6-year-old trends, right, on fibs. But we still played out where everybody decided to sell and everyone decided to buy on these levels over and over and over again at the exact same time, causing price to either dump on a sell or pump on a buy. This, to me, is empirical evidence that people are operating on programming of the Fibonacci sequence in the marketing world. We are biocomputers. We try to be individuals. We're not. We're all still buying and selling without coordination at the same time, based on something that is present in the very fabric and creation of everything in our world.
Preach. Preach.
What's that? Is it not weird? It's weird, I think. I think it's really strange. Like, that's what made me really key in. I was like, wait a minute. Are you telling me that people are operating at the same time without coordination on something that is present in a flower? Like, and so that's what made me start really researching. When I started playing around with fibs, I saw that these levels. So if you want to know the so what, now you know the history of it. If you want to know the so what, it's the platinum pocket, the golden pocket, and the 50, in my opinion, are the most important fibs on here. And that is your 50%, your 61.8 to 66%, your 78.6 to 88.7%. And that is where a majority of a bounce off of the 50 is very bullish. A rejection off the 50 is very bearish. And if you're going to get a rejection, once you break, watch your 50 and watch your platinum, or watch your golden pocket and watch your platinum pocket. And I will trade on these all day long, just on fibs, without anything else, because I know how to place them and read the sequence. I mean, look at this. Came up, hit the 887, pulled right back to the 786. And remember, these are 6-year-old fibs. I don't know why price action sticks to Fibonacci so well, but it really, really does.
So there's
And it's
an
not
indicator that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's not that price is, it's not that price is doing this. This is people selling and buying. But
Yeah.
there's no way that everybody is running around buying and selling with 6-year-old fibs on their chart. When I show this to everybody and they're like, I've never seen anybody do trend-based fibs like that, but it works. So you were saying, Melissa, go ahead.
No, there's an indicator. I think it's new. Isn't there a fib indicator that's not on the side table that automatically puts the fib lines on your chart?
There is.
And is
It's called
that
the
as
Piper Sniper.
accurate?
Yes and no. So this is the Piper Sniper kit. These are my fibs. I worked with them until they got them right. But the problem is that these are dynamic fibs. So these pull based on so many candles back. Like if I go into here, you'll see I've got it set to 150 on the 4-hour, right? So it's pulling back 150 candles until it finds tops and bottoms. But look, it pulled that top to bottom, right? Look at our pullback yesterday. Where'd we bounce at? Platinum pocket.
Mm.
Yeah, like
So
it,
so when the
it
line
happens
is
over and over
going,
and over again.
yeah, so at what point do you check mark on the Piper kit? There's a point in time where you have to check and uncheck the box.
The inversion
What
box.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are working to fix that. Where if it
Okay.
reads low to high, it will
Mm.
automatically do it itself. So that is coming. They're working on it now. But if the it so looking at this to here from here to here, which way did price go?
Up.
Low to high, right? Up.
Yeah.
We're looking for a retracement back down. So when it's that
Mhm.
way, when it's going measured low to high, you invert it because you're looking for the retracement to come down. Remember, this is 23.8%, 38.2%, 50%. So the percentage is getting higher as you come back, right? Would be a 100% retracement, right? So you want the platinum pocket to be the low mark, right? Because you're retracing back down. So this is your higher percentage down here. It's retraced back 100%, 88.7%, right? But if it's measured like low, like if this was pulled over and we had new price action over here, right? And this was measured from here to here, then your diagonal line would be low to high, and you'd be looking for a retracement to the upside. At that point, you would unclick that.
Okay.
That makes sense? But that's in your
Yes.
Piper Sniper kit. If you put that on a 4 hour and put it on like 250, I'd use this one a lot also. You'll see here. Let me do this. Well, that might be what it pulls anyways. Yeah, it's going to pull that anyways on a 250. Let's go back in time and I'll show you. So there you go. Yep. So we're pulled back here, low to high, right? Watch the price
Mhm.
action as it does. Watch what it does here. You'll see it keeps pulling sideways. See how it moved? Because it's reading the
Yeah.
last 250 candles from these lows to highs. Okay. Now watch. 50% bounce is where it hit right there. And now it's truncating. It's truncating. It's getting shorter and shorter because it's reading the last 250. It's dynamic fibs. These aren't exactly like the other fibs. The other fibs are static. This is reading the last 250 lines.
You keep it on 4 hour for the time frame and not chart.
I do. But
Okay.
it works really well on lower time frames too. Buck uses this on 15 minutes and crushes it with his setting on 100 to 110.
Mm. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, if you're looking for short time frame for scalping, dynamic fibs are amazing. They work great. If you're looking at this from a perspective of like I want static charts to be like this, then you've got to learn how to place fibs. And really it's really a matter of this. Like, let's go to anything. Let me just get a blank chart here and I'll show you this real fast. This is close enough. Let's go to Ondo. There we go. So looking at Ondo here, okay, we see this nice little run up. Let me put this as 1 hour. Yep. So we have this nice little run up here, right?
Mhm.
Can you lock for me? Thank you. There we go. Look at all the play in the golden and the platinum pocket from that pull from here to here. Look at all the play in the platinum pocket support, golden pocket resistance. And then once it broke it, again, there's the 50. Remember me talking about if we get above the 50 and retest, that's super bullish.
Yeah.
That was literally where it started to launch up. And that, I'm just pulling it from lows to highs, right? So if you obviously all of this time wouldn't be here, this price action yet. So like if I just go back randomly here, but no, I just don't even know, right? I just clicked it back. Let's go look. Okay, so on here I would do a pull from high to low. There's my golden pocket. 50% rejection. That means we could have some more downside here. Yep, look at that. Because we got a rejection from underneath on the 50, right?
Yeah.
Do you see how much the candle close happened there on that 1-to-1 line, that 0 line?
Yeah.
Now watch
Yes.
this. All right, so we broke this. Now, what I would start doing here, so as we're breaking this stuff, I would start pulling miniature fibs. So what I'm doing is I can see this is making lows and lows and lows, right? I would come in here and do a fib-based trend-based fibs, I mean, because we had a low, we had a high, we had a new low, right? And I would start look, perfect example. Look at the rejection, golden pocket, back down some more, right? Let's do it again. We got this here to the high, to the low. And now we're going to be watching those levels. So there was that low to high to low. Do you see where the price rejected at?
Yeah.
What is that?
Interesting.
It's the 50. A rejection from underneath on the 50 is very bearish. And what happened as soon as we did that? Straight down. So that's how I use fibs. I will get a big set of fibs on. So like on Bitcoin, I'm looking at this massive rain of fibs that goes over the entire history, right, of 6 years. But as we're moving in on those levels, I'm going to start looking at the fibs. So for example, on regular fibs here, I see it come down to here. Where'd we get the rejection at again? Golden pocket, right? We do it again. We come down from this level down to here, clean on the 382. So when these retracements happen and you get a bounce up after getting the lower low to a lower high, you're just pulling from like highs to lows, right? That's all you're doing. So if I was on a short time frame here, let me get this here, let me do that, and then bring this in on like a 15-minute just to show you what that looks like there. Where's that line at? Where'd that line go? There it is. Nope, that ain't it. Where's my brush mark? Did I not brush that? I thought I did. Let me find it again. There it is. I want to get this level right here. There we go. So let's go into like a 15-minute, okay? And there's that level. So we're looking at this low to high, right? Look at that. Do you see what I'm talking about? How these levels will keep playing out on the micro level also, not just macro?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the explanation.
You're welcome. And it takes time to learn how to place them. But if you ever like do, hey, I pulled from this level to this level, is that right? You know what I'm saying? Then I'll take a look at it and be like, yeah, that looks completely legit to me.
Yeah.
Hey, don't expect people to know, all this stuff, from 1 or 2 sessions. I don't. So if you ever just drop a picture and go, I drew the fib from this level to this level, and as long as I could see what is before it to go, I would pull that a little lower from before, whatever. Then I can look at a picture and tell you if you pulled your levels right. And really, what it is if you go in and you pull your levels and you're seeing that price was obeying those levels early in, then you know you're probably on the right sequencing. So, but it kind of
That's
follows a
a way to
pattern.
confirm.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And they definitely follow a pattern. It's crazy the pattern that they follow, but they really do. So
It's weird.
yep, it is weird. We're all just
Thank you.
biocomputers following a pre-programmed setting,
Dang.
thinking that we're individuals. We're just following the herd. Well, I found it
All
interesting
right.
because on the psychology side, in my job, I did pattern of life development for targeting. Right, you know this type of stuff from your background, pattern of life development, right? And so the big thing
Yeah.
that we do is we look for them to make set patterns, right? That way we can predict where they're going to be and when, right? To not snatch them up. And it's funny because we would see people try to change their patterns and not be predictable so they could continue being terrorist fucks. And no matter how hard people tried, they would eventually always settle into a pattern, whether it's a new one or old ones. We like patterns. We can't break out of them.
That's how you find bad
Humans
guys.
are so freaking predictable, man.
Ah. Oh yes. They all buy tops.
All
We all
right.
buy tops.
Yep, we all
Goal
buy
is
tops.
not to be
We all
predictable,
sell.
right?
We all sell on the way down at the bottom, right before it pumps again.
Oh man.
Unless you're supernatural, and then he's just the boss.
So did anybody else get excited and overbuy last night?
I bought. I didn't overbuy.
I
I
feel
miss
like
my
that
intro,
smile that
man.
OC just had. That means he did the same thing I did.
Oh man, it hit my alert. I mean, I did saw it, and I thought to myself, well, I'm gonna do it right out after. I don't know what the hell I was doing, and then today, it hits my next alert of taking profits, and guess what? I never bought in. Never bought the freaking bottom, man.
OC.
What?
OC, we're gonna have to talk about you and your tenure as a professor here at the academy.
Oh
Okay,
man,
guys,
yes,
so no shit.
absolutely.
This is the problem I'm having. Once I open the floodgates and allow myself to start buying, it's like I get this weird, stupid feeling, and I just want to keep buying, buy, 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 buy. And I'm like, no, you dumb bastard, stop.
I just talked about that earlier with Trent. It's the number one factor that causes failure in this in investing and trading. Anybody want to drop one on what that word was?
Who knows? What?
Greed. Greed, Buck. Greed. Greed has cost people more money than it's ever made them, unless you're a politician.
Yep.
Unless you're the
There's a
president
lot of
of
people that
Mexico.
lost a lot of money.
Yep.
It's the same thing as me jumping in a position too early and not waiting for the setup, right? Like all of a sudden, I think I missed it, and I'm like, "Shit, that was it!" And I always forget about the OC retest, right? It's like, "No, that was the line. Go, you missed it. Get it." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And now I've got like an extra 7%, 10% of bullshit I got to deal with, and holy fuck, if I'm wrong, I'm really wrong on this one because I still got to set my stop loss at the same point, right? Like, none of the rest of it changed, just my fucked up entry changed.
Yep. Yep. All right, guys. We ran a little bit long today, but hey, it's VIP session and we had a lot to go over. So you guys are worth it. I love you all. Yeah,
Oh,
just
thank you.
watch out for you're welcome. Watch out for that little rejection area though. Until we set, as I said earlier, until we come up and reset above this level here, all we've done is created a lower high. So be aware. That's all we've
You guys
done.
have
Set a
fun.
lower
Sounds
high.
good.
All right. Later, Melissa. Later, Buck. Later, Supernatural. Veritech. Tyler. OC. Baba Yaz.
Later.
You guys
Where'd
have a good
Trent
one.
go?
Later. He left
You
earlier.
scared
He had
him
to go.
away. He ran away. He had to go play with kettle corn.